Hello everyone and welcome to the End of Decay. I'm Two-Faced Teller, or you can call me V. I have like a playback going on, it's weirding me out. The End of Decay. In a quiet library on the world, a library book spills its sordid secrets. Evening, stranger. You here for a book, I take it? Just sign your name and residence number here. Shelves are alphabetized and there's a console in the corner. If you need to look something up, don't hesitate to let me know if you need anything. Okay. Oh, that's the monitor. An account of the banished, location shelf 4E. That which has been curator of purescence, laws of blood and sinew, excision of malignancy, that which will be. Can I not do anything? This is a case of I know how to read, but I don't know how to book. Can I leave? Bye. Damn it. Seriously? Oh! Oh my god. That one I wanted. To attempt to assemble a history is to make necessary assumptions of the state of the world as it is. At the beginning of that history... beginning of that history. Where must a writer start their piece? Can one assume that knowledge of the now is universal and will be universal? In times future, the history may find a reader. I need one free ear. Yet to attempt to describe all events that led up to the point at which capital H history begins is a futile effort. By the time the author has put pen to a percent of all history, more has been discovered and lived, and the point at which history becomes present is always moving. What? I'm tiny brain. What are you talking about? That is to presume there is a singular point, a singular present, and indeed a singular history of the world. To have opened this volume, I, the author, may make a few assumptions of you, the reader, whomstever you may be, and those assumptions are thus. Firstly, that you know that history is not immutable, A to B, the implaceable incrementation, big words, of the potential to the actual, rather that the wall of our history has had its bricks replaced. I shall not bore you with exploration of the analogy of the ship of Theseus, save to raise the question, if we may question the identity of a ship that has undergone complete replacement of its constituent parts over its lifespan. Question whether it remains the same ship. Let us question instead what becomes of the ship if one makes it so it was never a ship in the first place, if we replace its parts before its lifespan begins. So it's like, are we the same person every 10 years? Because isn't that when all of our cells have renewed? What becomes of the ship of Theseus if its planks are retroactively made into a jetty, a long cabin, a gallows? What becomes of us in this instant if we have never known the ship to be a ship? Could we know that the gallows should have been a ship, was in one parallel path of history a ship? That, dear reader, is my second assumption, that you are in the strain of history, where you recognize the events within as how they should have been, how they have been, are, were, will be. What? If one removes a brick from the wall of history and replaces it, what then happens to the original brick? Can one examine a brick without its outside context, or empirically determine that it is part of the wall or part of the scrap heap of histories? I assume, then, that the contents of this book may assure you that this volume's brick self resides in the wall of history, upon which we may build upwards to the heavens. And thus I began. I thought you already began! Come on! The beginning of history, this history, the state of the world as it existed before the confluence of realities, before the attempts to remake what was and what will be to the whims of the one whose name we cease to speak, the one whose punishment for the alteration of reality is to be altered out of it themselves. To describe the framework of history that exists around a whole in itself, we must develop conventions to describe the whole, the person, the non-existent, the whole. For this volume we will refer to as only merp. I want touch. Let me touch. Oh, blank. At the start of this history is the world, or rather the worlds. The 8 bodies beneath 8 skies, the pattern of humanity spread amongst the stars. This is the world, and the world, and the world is the originator, the cradle, from which I write this very sentence. The root, the core, the originator, the garden soul. Whilst we may live on the 8 worlds, contemporary magical thought recognizes only the world as the front of our power of life. We are but of Gaia, the life head, the glimmer of existence in the void that we dare to explore and vainly attempt to create as new worlds as a limpet may stick to a rock. It seems almost gauche to describe the insignificant details that take place on top of the world. One could describe the layout of streets, the organization of our governments, the logistical flow of taxation, of circle-shaped pieces of the world traded one to another. Rather, I would describe the philosophical thought of the era, the discoveries that humanity made in great leaps, of the nature of reality, of the control of time and times. It is in the... Several pages have been torn from the book. Any soul is capable of doing evil unto humankind. There are those who do so in ignorance and those who do so in malice. There are those who act in desperation and those driven by avarice and pride. There are others still who transgress for the sake of knowledge, and here our interest lies, captured as it is by one who yearned to prove their own polluted theories and committed grave misdeeds in their pursuits. This is a chronicle, however attenuated, of a life misspent. A name was once bestowed upon the subject of our studies. It was a name of a scholar. In those times it belonged to an individual who looked with fascination to the celestial bodies which had forever burned above, chief among them the radiant sun. This scholar of incandescence revered the sun's brilliance. As a young and talented mage, they studied its permeating light. They dwelled on its power, noting the manner in which it was accepted into the bodies of the living. In time, they develop a certain thesis, that the world itself and the life upon it was not the originator of power. Rather, they argued, the sun nurtured the world, and the radiant power which was absorbed upon the surface of the world was released into death. The scholars' unorthodox claims drew the ire and apprehension of their peers. Not to be deterred, the scholar argued their findings until there's so many words that I'm just like, what? It looks familiar, but...
Schism.
A split or division between strongly opposed sections or parties caused by differences in opinion or belief. What was it again?
Schism.
Schism. Became unavoidable. They spurned the world's gifts, declaring the sun to be the font of all power. Unwilling to recant their perverse theorem, the scholar lost what credibility they had once possessed. Forsaken, they discarded their mentors, their peers, their very environs, and in so doing discarded their name as well, finding that it no longer suited them. They took on another and began to tread a new path. As a foul sorcerer, they committed atrocities in the continued pursuit of their theories. Having learned much of life, they developed a cruel command over death. Illustration 1. Artist's impression of me. They have no face. It's just a big hole. I can touch your brain. Their shadow haunted battlegrounds and graveyards, manipulating corpses both fresh and ancient to suit their whims. They sought out the interred for their nefarious purposes, but they most coveted the bodies that rotted in the daylight, the corpses left to bloat and burst under the sun. Gross. In time, the sorcerer's whims grew more ignoble still. Not content to disrupt only the dead, so too did they interfere with the living. So, like the Grim Reaper? More bodies were felled, more lives cut short, to facilitate the study of decay. The sorcerer amassed legions of utter putrefaction? Is that it? Manipulating the processes of death to suit their own wild conjecture. To prove their long-held theory, the dread necromancer required the death of all things. The sorcerer's name is Cadence, and its sibilance has become synonymous with the rot of the soul and the assassination of the world. When the name was in use, it was a sound of such ill repute as to be impossible to speak aloud in good conscience. It had been stricken from many records. It has been scored and scalded from stone and parchment, alike to free any material from its clutches. The name does not belong to any being, living or dead. It is no longer the name of a scholar or a sorcerer. It is no more than a whisper of emptiness, banished from the world along with its bearer. A wedge was forever driven between the two that it would never return and grant them power again. Yet, although it lacks the might it once held, it is not without meaning. It is the sound of an absence and implication. It recalls this unsightly void too keenly. It drags a ruined monument into the daylight and proclaims that which has been chiseled from the pedestal. It identifies the hole in history which must be acknowledged only with care and trepidation lest the wound be reopened. It is thus that the name be rendered in this tome as meh. It is thus that the name be rendered in this tome as write the name of the banished into the space. Write your own name into the space. Ooh, that's two very different things to do. I could be this Reaper, but also I could end up getting dunked on because I wrote my name there. Or I could actually put the name down, but it'll also be like if you said Voldemort and you just summoned him. He hears the scritch-scratch of his name. He knows the sound. He is familiar with it. Ooh, I really want to put my name, though. Let's go. Ew. I just spat on it. That's what that is. It's not blood or anything. The book shudders beneath your hand. How, in a world where those with magical power may remake things as they see fit, bound only by their will and knowledge, bound only by that social agreement we share as the good people of the world, how, then, may one fight against another? How can one step into conflict with another with the certainty of victory? How can one fight against such a vacuity that you know what? I'll look it up. I'm trying to avoid looking up all of the words that I'm just unfamiliar with. Lack of thought or intelligence. Ooh, me!
Vacuity.
Vacuity. I am vacuity. I couldn't lock my phone. How can one fight against such a vacuity that rewrites the social agreement we share as their own laws of base elements? The law of good will rewrote in blood and sinew? The answer, dear reader, is to avoid stepping into the fight and to make things such as we may avoid a violent ending. No! We will fight! I don't care! Why do you think I wrote my name down? It is at this stage in history that our conclave, our parliament of minds, agreed the blot on the world should be cleansed, lest we become a humanity of the dead. To permit the unholy use of the dead to prove some pseudoscience makes us lesser than the dead ourselves. Yet much as we decried their sins, the power of the scholar of incandescence, the sun sorcerer, could not be denied at the juncture in history we once found ourselves at. Wow, I did not read that correctly, but whatever. Judgment and penalty must be carefully planned. To this end, the fight was on two fronts. The bodies in the now, as distracted from the true goal, the excision of this threat to all things good from the world. The work to remove the necromancer's brick self from the world to... What? Hey! I was reading that! Punk, you're just mad that I wrote my name down. How patronizing to assume the reader recognizes events of history as how they should have been. Should? What is should? But its etymology from the schuld. Not what ought to be, but guilt. Guilt that permeates this book as liquid spilled on the page. Sorry, I spit on it. I guess that's why you're mad. Seeping through the letters as they choose to spell out justification, retroactive justifications for the wanton destruction of history. Not even I, the Reaper, can read. History, dear reader, as the Vandal timeline addresses you, you must be aware that history is written by the victor, of course, but that it is rewritten. That the excision from their beloved metaphorical wall, the bricks tossed aside or multiple, it is not just myself, my brick self, that they attempted to crumble into dust, but theory, information, anything contrary to the dogma of perpetual life magic. Here is what the fight was. It was to erase the theory of the incandescent decay from history, to better serve their own embedded antivolved. Bruh. I don't know words. I don't read big book word. Come on.
Antediluvian.
Antediluvian. Of or belonging to the time before the biblical flood. Humorous, ridiculously old-fashioned. Philosophy, blah. I am sure you do not need instruction into entropy, but guidance. Yes, I do need guidance, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Turn your scholar's eye to the theory that life sustains itself indefinitely. In a cycle that the world is the font of our power of life, and humanity is but goddamn, I know I heard this word before, but I can't pronounce it. Simulacra? Simulacra of Gaia.
of the life head, that life in magic is indefinite. It is ignorance, wrong when the truth is what has been excised from history, with my own existence as scapegoat. Magic radiates from our sun, of a spectral class we know few others in, and we absorb it. Humanity into ourselves, and from ourselves we release magic as decay, surely as radioactive elements release their particles on a steady tick, tick, tick. Decay, not life, is the font of power. This is why the other worlds are barren of power. Too few bodies there to actively decay, and too little ambient decay, whilst the soil of the worlds is rich with magic relegated to the worms to gorge on. Worms! This is my crime, to study decay as a font of power and to exhume the dead to bring life to the worlds. All life is death. All life is death. But the vandals of history would rather die on their own insular world than see me vindicated.
That voice is giving me headache.
So they fought in the now and the past, fought to cut me out of the body of history like a tumor. I have never matched the magical fighters, the brutes that the Academy trains. To send a brute against a scholar gives you an idea of their attempted overkill, and they fought to erase me from history, to shift us onto a parallel path, and to blame me for the collateral of their impressive alteration. Me! They refused the study of the time magic to magic 2 in the first place. Oh. No, wait. No, it still doesn't make sense to me. Who they refused the study of the time magic to in the first place. Oh, okay, now I get it. I had to reread it again. I was helpless to affect the past, but to watch the foundation of my existence crumble like sand. Faced with this assault in the past and the present, what could I do but metastasize?
I don't know. You were saying a lot of words that I didn't understand, and you're talking about a butt that I still don't understand. Strange sounds echo behind you. The world beyond the tomb in your hands seems to be out of focus, blurred at the edge of vision. Look up from the book, dear reader. No, number 5. Damn it. Fine. Ooh, spooky. Who are you? Oh, very well. Stay then, if you insist. See how it ends. Look upon that which will be. Well, I mean, I just left staring at the book. Torn pages litter the ground. They are blank. Only traces of letters remain, as if erased long ago. You can make out one word. Mistake. You made a mistake. You shouldn't have written your name. You should have written his name. The librarian isn't moving. No, librarian! You're supposed to help me. One of the door handles has fallen off. It's mine now. The doors won't budge. Just ram into it. Let's go bunk. Very well. Stay then. If you insist. See how it ends, punk. Look upon which will be. I looked at it. Can I read more now? Oop. The words on the page seem to squirm, taking new shape. Woo. An imagined dogma, incandescent theorem, adjudication, a wound in perpetuity, and exhumation. Does that say I can't leave? I cannot leave. I can only read. The Vandal timeline would have you believe that their efforts were successful. I think this is still Mr. Necromancer.
The Vandal timeline would have you believe that its efforts were successful. So too would the Vandals have you believe that I was subdued without great cost to their enterprise, but this itself undermines the claims made against me. No, I would have had you understand that I was and remain a threat greater than the accursed magi were capable of anticipating. Our struggle was one which lasted throughout time, and one which lingers even now. Indeed, now has long been the foremost battlefront of our ill-conceived war. As to then, it need not be discussed. Does it matter how I was, as they say, vanquished? Do the details of my indignity fascinate you so?
Yes, actually. Like, how did this happen? How are you Book now?
Would you seek to put such methods into practice?
No, I just want to know. I'm curious.
Jeez. To learn from them? Or is it mere curiosity?
Yeah, it is.
It does not matter.
That's kind of rude.
Know only that for a time I was gone. I will concede that, for it is an empirical fact. For decades I was a scholar, a sorcerer, an enemy of mankind, and then I was nothing at all. I chose to do that, not them. I was not vanquished. I chose to be gone. I languished in the wretched void, where there is no light, no life, no death. In this place where nothing can be or cease to be, I was deprived of the powers I had once studied so studiously, and yet. Though this world was spared for a time from my work, I was not the source of its rot. I merely harnessed it. It has gone on rotting without me. It continues to rot. It continues to rot. Perhaps it would have been better off, as I intended, decaying with purpose. Like this world the void created to entrap me is a wound itself. It was never cauterized, never fully closed. It weeps even now, never disinfected, and perhaps I am the infection, the fever that boils within, perhaps. I tire of this volume's insipid self-gratification. Consider me a judicious editor. Writing grammatical errors, tightening loose ends. This is a stronger narrative, wouldn't you agree?
It's kind of so monologue-y. Why can't you just tell me how you were vanquished? Come on! There's no secrets between us.
I shall not call you dear reader any longer, for I felt the point of your quill, and its grave impetus, right? That's the word? Shut up. We have co-written this tome, so let us recapture it.
All I did was put my name in, like one of those books where you gotta fill in the blanks. I just thought it'd be cool to have my name in it.
Let us imbue this world with radiance again. Death! Death! Death!
Ew! Eyeball! It's not even in the right places. Only one of them was. I can go outside again. Ink begins to run. Dry pages separate from the tome's spine. Whipped away by a gust of wind without a source. Me, I breathe. Fervent words ring out in your mind as you pick up the remnants of a page.
A name, the meaning of a name, that sound by which I summon myself. That forbidden scream at last, at last.
The organ of selfhood ripe and ringing in its shell. With all the world an open rotting rind.
The flesh is sweet and the seeds poised to sprout, as I have planted them.
The psyche's wordless chime. Ding. A wail or a song or a silence. Just constant screaming.
But of joy.
The exquisite pain of evocation. Touch. A cold yellowing stone. You pick it up, finding it deceptively light. And turn it in your... Oh! It grins up at you. I was not a stone. I was the librarian all along. Look into my beautiful eyes. Are you hypnotized? Its eye sockets pulse with light. Gross. All death is life. All death is life. I should have said that more excited. All death is life! You have come this far already. Yeah? What of it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? The world is changing and you and I with it, as the words throughout this tome wriggle and rewrite themselves to the truth. From the void, from the gap between time and space, the garbage heap of reality, I return. I will not brag. I will not exclaim delight. I will not hold myself lofty over those who sought to oppose me, for this is simply how history should have been. My, how it feels to be reunited with a body, to have the servant limb scribe its name, my soul into the book of history. Do you remember now, flesh of mine? Last forgotten body? Do you read the words your own soul writes and feel a resonance? A reverberation. Is that the word? Why does it feel wrong?
Reverberation.
Reverberation. Sorry. I knew I was saying it wrong. I recognize the word, but I'm just like every single word I come across. You are me, are I, are we. That kind of sucks for you, to be honest. I'm not gonna leave. You can control this body, but I'm gonna continue to annoy you. Soul and bone reunited, my name carved into your skull, the last thread the vandals could not find. Wait, was it there the whole time, or... So now we come to the right path, the right time, the events of history corrected, the world, all the magic blooming from decay. I can almost smell it. So much richness, so much potential energy squandered to remain in the ground for the worms, whilst the other worlds stagnate. It will now be, it will always have been, that the fruits of the world are shared with the heavens. The first step of the rest of history. Humanity will not die with the sun, will not rot away on the one world, but will spread to the stars. Whoa! Look at that go. The living and the dead of the world will become the seed of magic to sustain us forever, forever. From these new worlds we can spread further, build ourselves vessels to find new stars of magical spectra. Through the death of the world, humanity will never die. All death is life! All death is life! And repeat. This is my gift. This is my gift.
I forgive humanity for my banishment. I forgive them, pitiful souls of twisted dogma that they are. With my name coursing through the book of history, they never have attempted to cause my ending. They never have banished me to that void. Never, 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 never. To that no place, they never have done it, but I remember. I remember what it was like to be nothing, to be no one, to be alone from everything. To be somewhere cold and dark would have been a blessing to be able to identify anything as cold or as darkness. What I leave the world with is far more gracious than was ever done to me. Ooh. Their eternal decay shall be noble, to rot and to teeter on that precipice between life and death, even as the skin sloughs from their bones, even as the bones grind and shatter, even as the dust sheds from their marrow. They shall decay until they can power humanity no more. Every particle of sun-given magic will be returned. It is irony, that this extension of their decay will be the closest thing to proof of their own theory of magic, but it will be finite. The world is not a perpetual motion of machine. What is perpetual will take work. To repeat this process sevenfold, one each of the new worlds grow rich enough with decay for the harvest, to settle 7 times 7 new worlds. Over and over, the incremental defeat of entropy, the conquer of the stars as we could never hope to achieve by leaving the dead unused in the ground. And I will chip away at the work to hone it further, and each incremental step of progress will be a step towards the end of decay. Just move your eyes upwards, just come on. I hope you're not implying that's how I look like. 'Cause I will be a little offended. Ooh. Whoa! Oh, no! Oh, God. I wasn't expecting that. Come on. Just stairs. Okay, that didn't matter. I'm just pretending that you are not there. Well, I can't go anywhere. Come on. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I lied. He's not gonna catch me. No catch me. Damn it. Come on. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. Why are we here? But to suffer. Can I just hide forever? That'd be neat. Oh. Maybe he won't find me in here. Am I supposed to be in here? I don't want to leave. Maybe he won't find me if I stay in here. Shush. I'm not here. You will not find me. Oh! Oh no! What have you done? What have you done? I can barely remember, but a shadow plagues me. A shadow of memory of what this once was. I don't know who you are, actually. I don't know what's going on. Green, the whole and alive, and now all is dust and decay. Are you happy? Are you happy? You kinda. I thought you were gonna kill me, so now don't really care about being outside anymore.
Do you expect me to go to a place because I cannot leave? What do you want? Is there a book I can read? Let me up. What if I get you? Come here. Speak. Oh, this is your end of decay. A fallen brick can now fall any further or something. Are we gonna be here forever? Tell me! Tell me! Why do you stay here to taunt me? Yeah. Do you wish to be ruler of a dead world? Yeah, it's still a ruler. I wish you gone. Go to one of your new worlds. Feast on our energy, as our deaths are drawn out forever. I don't know who you are. Do not dwell on the past now, do not dwell. There is so much work to be done. My body, my bones, my servant corporal self. Come to me in the 7 worlds. I wish to feel my hands again as I craft the next page of history. Will you take this next step with me? Will you join me in the new worlds? Yeah, sure. Ew. Why are you so squishy? Like, not a good kind of squishy. You're like a gross kind of squishy. The end. Was that the librarian? I don't know. I don't know who is talking. External assets. What's that? Oh, okay. Back to start. What if this is my chance. Your name. Ew, squishy. Oh, who are you? Will you be leaving, stranger? It is time to go now. Who's that? Is that you? Is this you? The light is gone from the librarian's eyes. No! They look up and vaguely acknowledge you. Will you be leaving, stranger? It is time to go now. Oh, the library's all is closing. Shh, I'm still reading. The book shudders beneath your hand. Have I read this? I do not know. To this end, the fight was on 2 fronts, bodies and the nows, attraction of the true goal, time by carefully pruning as one shapes and cares for a shrub, rather than the coarse vandalism and manipulation and creation of the dead. Wait! Oh, this is where you come in. Oh, patronizing to assume the reader recognizes these events, and you're back again, god damn it. What blood? I didn't put nothing anywhere. Or liquids. I didn't put no liquids of mine. Damn it. I have to do everything again. Damn it. No. No, it was a mistake. Wretched mistake. I don't want to listen to you monologue again. Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs?
Thank you, my servant, my friend, my ally. This is the secret.
Wait, oh shit. Were you saying things I did not see? Thank you, my friend, my ally, my only servant. My only servant body in the Vandal history. Sometimes you say things, and I get confused. For you have scrawled the word that is my name to bring me back. This is the secret. This is the secret. When the Vandals left their one thread, it was my name, my friend, my ally, my love. How must my name have burned on your bones as the Vandals attempted their erasure? Oh my god, we're lovers in this one! And I was gonna be making a comment about somebody would still tap that ass, even with your eyes not in the right place. But it looks like it was me! It was I! I was the one who tapped that! Having burned on your bones as the vandals attempted their erasure, how it must have stung as you carried my phylactery in the form of my true name carved into your flesh.
I love you so much I got a tattoo of your name on my arm. On my one butt cheek. The right one.
So now we come to the right path, the right time, the events of the history corrected. Though I think I've already said this all before and there's just that one change. But it will spread to the stars. Boop, boop, boop. The living and the dead of the world will become the seed of the magic. All life is death! Yay! Just me in the background. Yay! Yay!
Let's go! All life is death and all that stuff. I've lived for 1,000 years. Or more, I haven't kept track. Whose skull is this, though?
Is it my skull? Is it your skull? Is it the librarian's skull? Their eternal decay shall be noble to rot and teeter on the precipice.
That's my man's right there.
Isn't he so handsome? I carried his whatever the frick, I guess his vial of blood or something. Where are you, skeleton? Skeleton, where are you? No! Skeleton? Oh, there you are. You cannot leave. What have I done? What have you done? I can barely remember, but a shadow plagues me. And the shadow of memory of what this once was. I am the librarian. I mean, I'm the only person you've met, so obviously, right? No, not obviously. Stop walking away from me. I need a restart. Why are you here to mock me? Leave! Leave me be! As our deaths are drawn out forever. Oh.
My friend, my love, for your service to me, not for your search, I don't know where I got that word, for bringing me back from the void, from nothing, from nowhere. I give you a world, any of the 7 new jewels of the cosmos, yours to bask in its magic, in its ambient decay magic. Will you take this next step with me?
Yeah, of course! This is way better than the other when I wrote my name. When I wrote my name, we were one and the same, and it was kind of lame. But being your friend and your lover, come on, how is that not the best choice? Yeah. Oh, it's so gross, though.
Darling, stop squelching everywhere. It's making me kind of uncomfortable. After all these years, I've never gotten used to it.
Okay, can I leave? Boo boo, hey librarian, I'm back again. This time I'll try not to ruin everything.
My husband has no face. My husband has no face. But he has 2 eyes and no mouth, I don't think. He's very handsome, is what I say every day. Convince myself it's okay, but it's kind of not. Sometimes he goes quick, quick, and it's really gross. Especially when you're trying to sleep.
Oh, the first time It's just, we combined not because I wrote my name into it. It's because I absolutely definitely stuck my finger into his brain. So we were just like one and the same after that. Sure, it was just an illustration, but it's the thought that counts. I touched his brain, and so we combined. I think you should go now. Okay, bye. I just think it's kind of funny that you're just like this. Okay, bye. No, let me leave while you're going back inside. Gotta check on yourself. The library's closing. All is closing. Yeah, but I can't leave. Let me go. Ah! My standards are so low, I'm just like, the librarian's handsome. He doesn't even have a mouth. Well, I'll be leaving. I can't exactly, like, technically go down the stairs, but I'm leaving, so you're welcome. That was the End of Decay. There's a lot of words that I didn't know, whether it's the meaning or how to pronounce them. But it was fun nonetheless. There's just a lot of talk of things that I didn't understand too. But at the end of the day, I'm now the lover to a necromancer. And we're gonna take the worlds by storm. Have a good day and a good night. Necromancy's kind of whack. Bye.
Bye.